Hi, this is Matt Donegan from Challenger Stories. I'm here with Güner, who's the CEO and founder of MoovBuddy, which is a D2C self-help healthcare company. What does that mean? What is it the company actually does?
Hi, Matt. First of all, thank you for having me in this conversation. I know that it might sound a bit complicated term, self-help healthcare. Actually, it's what you can do for your healthcare, and we create tools to enable you to do something for your health. In today's world, healthcare is a bit, in sense of accessibility, there are some setbacks, and it's not so easy in sense of and money, time, and then a personalized approach. There are some problems in the traditional healthcare services. What we can do is we can utilize technology to improve the healthcare services. We can utilize technology and we can utilize our own motivation and our own efforts. So what we do in MoveBuddy is we bring all tools for every individuals in the world to enable self-help.
I mean, that's a big remit. You're doing a lot. Give me some examples. What elements of healthcare are you addressing at the moment?
So far, we created 4 apps, and the first app is MoveBuddy. Actually, the name of the company is MoveBuddy. MoveBuddy is a AI-powered physical health solutions focused on lower back pain, posture issues, mobility issues, and it's like a self-help physiotherapy app. And like you go to imagine that you go to a physiotherapy clinic and they ask you some questions. You give your information about your problem. Maybe you are working from your home. You don't have an ergonomic setup. I mean, your workspace is not so ergonomic, and they create a personalized plan for you, and you start to do your exercises in clinic and from your home at the same time. But you need to go to somewhere and do this offline, right? But you need to arrange your work, etc., etc. What MoveBuddy does is MoveBuddy creates a personalized plan for you that you can access 7/24, and you can do your exercises, you can record your symptoms, you can track your progress, you can track even your posture. For example, the earbuds I put on my ears, that we are able to track your posture with our posture tracking feature in MoveBuddy. When I have a bad posture and if I stay in this position, let's say for 3 seconds, I will be alerted and I will correct my posture. This is a posture training feature in MoveBuddy, for example.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I sometimes lose my correct posture. That's why I use this feature. And this is what we do in MoveBuddy. And the second app is Kiggleman app. Kiggleman is a pelvic floor exercise for men's sexual health issues. Basically, premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction, and then the problems for like prostate, etc. And it's similar to MoveBuddy. At that time, with Kiggleman app, you train your pelvic floor muscles and you increase your tone of your pelvic floor muscles, and then the control over your pelvic floor muscles, and then you improve your sexual health.
Okay. All right. So, and the third one?
The third one is Young Face. Young Face is a facial exercises app based on facial skin analysis. When you go into the app, you start with a quiz, and in that quiz you give some information, and at the end you take a selfie, and through deep learning your skin conditions are analyzed, and then based on this analyzed personalized facial exercise plan is created based on the wrinkles and then the skin conditions. Those exercises from the library are selected. And the last app is, which we are very excited about, is MindBuddy. MindBuddy is a cognitive behavioral therapy based self-help mental health solution. As we brought AI and CBT concepts into MindBuddy to make self-guided CBT techniques possible for every individual in the world. And MindBuddy app has a psychoeducation therapist, AI psychotherapist in the app, and advices for I think I need to be reconsider what I'm going to tell about MindBuddy.
No worries.
MindBuddy is our number 4 app, and which we brought CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy techniques, and AI together to make self-help, self-guided psychotherapy possible for every individual in the world. And it's quite new app. It has been just 4 months. We have, I think, almost 50,000 downloads so far, and our apps has more than 5 million downloads in total. We have subscribers more than 150 countries, and we are still a small team based in Istanbul and London. We do marketing, development, and then content creation in the company. And yeah, we are.
Güner, it sounds like you're doing a lot of things, and it sounds like you've got a lot of growth going on there. Why did you get into the healthcare space in particular? What drew you to it?
This is actually a bit part of my personal motivation. I think every person in the world deserves a healthful living. And in order to achieve it, we have a component like technology. And technology can make this possible. For example, resources are limited to provide better healthcare services. And even for developed countries, we experienced this during COVID. And then the number of healthcare providers are limited. Payers are not able to pay the bills. And then there's a problem with human resources. And that's why our abilities to deliver a better healthcare services is limited. I think democratizing healthcare is very significant for all humanity and for all world. And that's why I thought that I will complete part of my personal mission if I do something in health domain with technology. I have engineering background. I studied electronics and communication engineering. That's what I can bring on the table, tech and health. That's why I just thought that could be my mission.
Yeah, well, it's a big mission. Look, the way that AI is being used, I mean, the healthcare is one of the sectors that it's being implemented. It's been implemented very quickly. Seeing a lot of movement in the healthcare space with regards to AI utilization and many different use cases. You've got 4 different use cases here. Got a question about what you're deploying. You've got 4 different apps that you're rolling out into the marketplace, or that you've rolled out. You've got downloads. You're achieving revenue, etc. Why 4? Didn't you want to just dial into one and really drive that out, or what? Yeah, what's the rationale behind 4 different apps at the same time?
Yeah, very good question, because I've got these questions a couple of times. Why, instead of making a super app including all these functionalities, you created 4 apps? This has more than one answer. The first answer is when you put all solutions into one app, you make it more complicated. And when we are talking about accessibility, we have users age 25, we have users age 85. And when you make it complicated, you break the user experience. We have to deliver something simple to the user. That's why each solution is a different app. On marketing approach, and when you talk about so many things into one app, you make it still hard to be understood by your audience. And that's why we decided to make every solution a different app, and it gives you also flexibility. This is the third reason I can say.
Yeah, I understand that from a user perspective, because you can get overload, you can get feature overload, and feature overload is never a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking also along the lines of, you've got 4 different products in the marketplace. So instead of combining 4, why did you choose to have 4 apps? Have they been released over a period of time? Did you release them all at once? What was your rationale?
We didn't release them once. The first app was MoovBuddy. It was released in 2020.
Yeah.
The second app, Kiggleman app, was released 3 years after MoovBuddy's release, actually. So we build up knowledge in this domain, and we understood the user experience and the behavior of the end user and expectations. Then we decided to create the other apps.
Yeah. Okay. So you've gone where the market has dictated. Did you do a lot of research when you're developing the app? You looked at problem solution. You looked at the size of the marketplace. That's all that you've done in order to move forward.
Of course, the decision of new app is something big for the company, for the team. Actually, you need to do a lot of investigation, and we have to do so much research before developing the app, because it's a big effort that you need to put into, and it's not only developing the app and also the go-to-market. And after releasing the app in the market, it's not, most of the time users are not waiting for it, and you are not selling bread and cheese. That's why you need to promote it, and you need to tell your story, and this story should be understood by your audience, and they should need what you have created. That's why the problem identification process is very crucial in the app creation process.
Yeah. And one of those things, when you're developing a product in the marketplace, you're finding whether what you're doing, the thing that you're creating, is it ironic in the healthcare space in particular? Are you creating a painkiller, or are you creating a vitamin pill? I.e., is it something that is an acute problem for a large group of people, or is it a minor benefit to a wide audience, but it's not something that they actually desperately need? Might want it, but it's not a must-have, it's a nice-to-have. What level of research did you do to define what was a must-have as opposed to what was a nice-to-have?
I can say many of our products is a painkiller, because we don't create products with a spray and pray approach. We could create, let's say, 4 more or 8 more apps for the market. But what we need to do is bring a real solution to the users. For example, I mentioned our Kiggleman app. We have a pelvic floor therapist in the team, and then for MoveBuddy, we have a full-time physiotherapist in the team. Because we believe that we need to understand the real needs and real requirements, and we need to bring something very good to the market. That's why I believe that we are painkillers in the market. But I don't say that every person who needs physiotherapy can use MoveBuddy or our other solutions, because every condition is unique. Someone, for example, just after the surgery needs to get a physiotherapy from a real physiotherapist in the clinic. But after that time, this person needs to maintain his routine and, the therapy and the recovery process. At that time, MoveBuddy comes into picture and takes a crucial role to maintain this recovery.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. So 4 different apps, you're selling products, your app around the world, many countries, significant number of downloads, you're generating success. On the flip side, what are the challenges? What are you finding is it difficult to do? What's keeping you awake at night?
Maybe it could be understood my previous statements that creating a product might be the easier part of your work. Actually, creating a product, what people need, is something more difficult. That's why you need to get a market insight. In order to get market insight, you need a user traffic, and you need to acquire users. And in order to acquire users for a digital product, you will go to the paid acquisition channels, and then of course you can use organic growth channels, but it's slow and it's limited. And when it comes to the paid acquisition, you need high amount of money and funding. You are limited by budget here if you don't have a large budget of marketing. And the second big problem is the team, especially when you create multiple products. It's hard to delegate the focus appropriately. I mean, you lose sometimes your focus and you just focus on one product and you forget the other product. And if your resources are limited, if you are still a small team, you need to manage this allocation very well.
Yeah. I mean, most businesses find that most of their issues, most of their challenges and problems fall into one of three categories. It's either time, team, or money. It's time. What are they focused on? What are they putting their resource into? How much? Time is the one finite that we can't buy more time, right? You can generate more money. You can't generate more time. Then it's team. How to develop a management structure and a leadership team that are going to take the load off of the CEO and let the CEO do the things that CEOs do, which is to define strategy, find the vision for the company, and enroll and inspire their team members, and to create that kind of leadership team. And the last thing is money. It's not the last concern, but it's often compounded by the problems of time and team. Is the business generating cash or enough cash in the business? Is it profitable enough? Is there volatility in the market? These are all things that CEOs can struggle with sometimes. Out of those three things, what's your biggest focus at the moment, or what's your biggest challenge out of time, team, and money?
I 100% agree with you, Matt. Time, money, and team. I can't say that it changes by the time. Sometimes you are focused on money, sometimes you are focused on team and time. But most of the time, maintaining healthy cash flow is a very important thing in our business model, because we acquire users for our apps and it should be a profitable operation. Otherwise, you lose money and there is an end of the game. And if you lose the money and if you are not raising funding properly, and team is very important. Some might say that the team comes after the time, but I will put the team in the second order, because you are doing business with the people, and it's very important to create leadership in the team. And once you grow, and it's hard to give some tasks to others and make them lead their tasks. It's a bit difficult at the growth stage, in my experience.
Yeah.
Those are my opinions.
Yeah. No, and I completely take those on board. With regards to leadership, you're scaling your business at the moment. How we've talked before, and we talked about leadership, developing leadership inside a business. How important is it to you at this moment in time that you develop a leadership team and a leadership structure that can scale the business?
It's very, very important for me. Personally, I believe that if my company is a healthy company, if I scaled company very well, it should work without me. This is what it's supposed to be, because otherwise the company is highly dependent on the person and his motivation, his psychology, except his or her. Anyway, that's why I find the solution to build up leadership in the company, and then those leaders will lead the task and will lead their team, and will make a bigger process than you can make with one leader.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's been said that leadership is an art form and management is a system or a process. Is that something you'd agree with?
Yes, especially on system side, if your systematic is powerful, and then the leadership will be more powerful. And then if you don't have a systematic and you don't have a process, it kind of becomes a dictating type. Your leader dictate the work and the others. So this is not something healthy in my perspective. And then the process and system is very important with leadership, I believe.
So the leader runs the team runs the systems and processes, and the systems and processes run the business.
Yes.
Great structure, Great structure. Can I ask you, are there any things that you would have done differently over the last couple of years? You've got four apps in the marketplace. They're a really
Uh-huh.
exciting space, right? So healthcare full stop. Because of the march of AI, we can see self-help, healthcare becoming very much on trend. But are there any things you would have done differently in the last couple of years? You think actually, if we'd only done that, we might be further down the road?
Of course, we have done so many innovations and new things. Let me start with marketing side. We always try different ways of user acquisition and different types of user onboarding. This is very crucial for the success of your paid acquisition efforts, and that's why we tried multiple ways, and we made so many A/B tests to find the best onboarding funnel, to find the best feature in the app, and to find the best pricing for our apps. And on product side, we always aim to bring unique and helpful solutions to the users. So in that perspective, we completed two R&D projects successfully. Those projects are supported by Turkish Research and Development Institution named TÜBİTAK. This is a very those grants are very prestigious and they are very selective to support companies with this grant. And one of the projects were the one I mentioned about the posture tracking feature. The other one is the AI powered machine learning powered personalized exercise plans. And those are the innovations that we brought to our apps. And we are always chasing innovation, and we are always seeking for new things to make our work process more efficient. For example, recently we started to use no-code automations to manage our ads management and customer support. We use AI for customer support as well. So many things, Matt. Thank you for asking this. I'm happy to share this.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. You said at the beginning of the interview what inspired you to get into the sector, and you could see it as an exciting space. You can help people out. You can improve people's lives, literally improve people's lives. So make significant changes in their existence, in their day-to-day living. That's what might have inspired you. But is there anybody that's inspired you? Is there anyone out there that you look at and you think, what they do is what I stand for?
I can say that Steve Jobs is someone for everyone, of course, but I like the way he makes things more simple because everyone will use the computer, and it should be very simple to use for elder people and for young people, for children as well. That's why I really like his way, and I'm inspired by Steve Jobs, I can say.
And I can see some parallels as well because your product, it's designed to be simple to use, simple to utilize. It's not complex. When you look at UI, UX in this day and age, everything's really simplified down. There's commonalities between a lot of the products in the marketplace because there's best practice. We kind of know what that is now. And AI is teaching us more about UX. So and I can see those kind of design the aesthetic of appeal of an app and how
Yeah.
you behave with it is absolutely vital. Otherwise, you're going to lose users, right? I mean, that's the simple fact. It's not human in its form. If it's not human in the way that you interact with it, then you won't interact with it. I think that's pretty clear. I think we all understand that now. So that's fascinating. Güner, thank you so much for your time today. I really, really appreciate it. It's fascinating to hear about what you're doing with MoovBuddy. I appreciate now you've got this suite of apps in the marketplace making a difference to people's lives. That must make you feel pretty good. Listen, good luck with scaling the business. In fact, nothing is luck in scaling a business. It's all planning. Hope isn't a plan, and neither is luck. Luck was never a strategy that you could rely on. So thank you so much for your time today. It's been fantastic speaking to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me today, Matt. I 100% agree with you, and success doesn't come randomly. And as we talked, the system leadership, the taking into account the user experience, everything is very crucial. And I'm very happy that you have invited me, and I wish you good success with your journey as well, and hope to see you next time as well.
We're going to keep in contact anyway because I really want to see what's happening with MoveBuddy in the future. Very exciting. Uh,
Thank you very much.
very much. Speak to you soon.
Bye bye.